Okay, here we are. Must be after 5, judging by how the time looks, but they woke up early to be at the beachside because they want to see the sunrise. Apparently, this was Wave's idea, and Lava wants it to go with his boyfriend's idea because he wants to make it look romantic. That, and remember, Lava knows Wave is a prince, and he's gonna go by the highness words. Trust me, if he didn't find out that he was a royal highness, he still would have done it, but you know. So while waiting, Lava started asking Wave about his families, indicating that he's a prince by asking what if his family is rich and they are looking for him and they love him. And he almost said that Wave is a prince, but he didn't. Wave then looked at Lava and said, I don't think that my family is looking for me, and if they are, I don't care because I want to stay here with you and Peng and just enjoy this moment, enjoy my life as Wave. All this time I thought maybe Wave would get his memory back if he touches the water. Maybe he would have a panic attack or something, but that never happened. Until I started remembering when Tom tries to hit him in the head, some part of his memory came. So maybe if someone hit him in the head or if he accidentally hit his head one day, I don't know when, he might get his memories back. He might. Looking at this, I see that there's going to be so many memories that Wave will be having with Lava on this island that I'm so scared to know that when Wave gets his memories back, I'm not sure what will happen. I feel like, I know he has to go back home, but just the thought of him getting his memory back, going back home, leaving Lava. But then again, Lava is going to leave too, considering he's only there on the island for the summer. Anyways, after seeing the sunrise and sleeping on the car and waking up, they're going back home, right? And Lava keeps thinking about what his uncle said. His uncle told Lava that he must not try to tell Wave anything about his life, nothing at all, because if he does, we don't know what will happen. And again, the boy is still in danger. We don't want to risk anything. And if he tells him the truth or something, he might do something we don't want him to do. Lava makes sense. Lava said he feels it's unfair knowing that they know everything and Wave doesn't know anything. Lava wants to tell Wave everything as a truthful boyfriend, but then again, he knows he can't do that. You have to keep the boy safe. I kind of see the patterns with Lava when it comes to smoking. With Lava, I feel like when he's in deep thought and he's thinking about something that bothers him, or overall, he wants to ease his mind on something, he smokes. Is it a habit? No. It just helps calm him to focus. Okay, back on, Wave confronted Lava, saying that he doesn't like the idea that Lava is doing the boxing. Oh, by the way, it's Muay Thai. That is the sports that Lava is doing. It's Thai boxing. They call it Muay Thai. But anyways, yeah. Wave said he doesn't want him to do that just to make money, and he's trying to give Lava the watch so he can sell it to make money to buy the bike that Lava wants, because he remembers Lava said the watch costs a lot of money or something like that. Lava then looked at Wave and said he doesn't want the watch to sell and he should keep it because he wants to make money his way. Wave looked at Lava and said, this is the exact reason why I like you, and that he never wants to change him. To be honest, I like that Wave knows that's what he likes about Lava, but Lava is completely kind of changing just cause he doesn't want to be the way he is, knowing that Wave is a prince and he doesn't want to give him that rude vibe that he always gives him. But this is what Wave loves about Lava. Then we see T, who went back to the palace and told Victor and his father that he eliminated Prince Darwin along with his rescuer. And Victor is like, I don't believe you. You really did it? Did you really see Darwin? And T said, yes, I saw him, but he couldn't recognize me. And so it was easier for him to get rid of him along with his rescuer, unlike what Victor did. Honestly, I knew that Homeboy was not evil, but he had to play the part so nobody can find Darwin. Remember, Darwin is the only key that the family needs to be able to be royalty. But without Darwin, then Victor and his father can eliminate the family and they can take the throne. Man, that's why they say be careful who you have as friends. Or if they're family, be careful who you have as family. After T left, Victor said to his father that he doesn't trust T and he doesn't trust the fact that he eliminated Prince Darwin. The father looked at Victor and said, you should shut up because at least T did the job that he never did. Well, technically T did a job, but he didn't eliminate Prince Darwin. He eliminated the people that Victor's family hired to follow him. And so far, Prince Darwin is safe for now. Okay, back to our regular routine, helping the uncle with his election banner, and Peng is trying to lecture Lava into acting normal around Prince Darwin. Because remember, Darwin doesn't know anything about his life, and Lava said, yeah, I'm acting normal. Then Peng is like, what do you mean normal? How do you act normal? You know, as a couple, being the prince's boyfriend. Peng says that this is the best way to do it, and try not to let Prince Darwin knows about any of his life. We're talking about Wave. For people who don't understand. Wave is Prince Darwin, but Wave doesn't know his life. Anyways, they got to the part where they are trying to hang the other banners along with his previous one that he hung, and he noticed people had vandalized it, calling him a bunch of words which I will not say, but it's a F word. And it's not looking good for Peng, knowing that people know his sexual preference and they're not happy about it. So I don't know what's gonna happen because they liked him and I know people voted for him, but I don't know what's gonna happen. Peng took the vandalized banner and burnt it. He is hurt, but he's not hurt like you will give up on the politics and the election. Lava and Wave already knows who did it, but they're not gonna assume anything because they don't want to jump to conclusion, but they already know who is behind the entire thing, but they can't do anything. Okay, they're back at the resort and Peng is doing his regular hotel checking on the lodge book or whatever you call it, while these two is just kind of cleaning up, right? Then Wood came with his father. His father was making a bunch of noise and his target is on Peng. Okay, after calming Wood's father addressed Peng by telling him that he knows about their relationship, but he is angry that no one told him about it. He also started saying that if he wants to be in a relationship with his son, he has no problem about it, but he has to make it right by proposing, having a wedding, getting married. Peng said he wants that. He really does. But he has his election and stuff like that. So the father said he's going to make a deal. If Peng wins the election, then he will be okay with him and Wood and they can get married. But if Peng loses, then Peng has to break up with Wood. Honestly, when I saw this, I'm like, dude, you are okay with them, which is great, but your whole thing is just forceful. I don't know. Girl. He also asked Peng if he loves his son, and of course, immediately Peng answered that he loves him. The father said that he heard a lot of people talking bad about them and he doesn't like it. It's not looking good on his family knowing that people are talking about Peng, who is an outsider, trying to be in love with his son. So I guess the problem is not about, well, some people, it's not about Peng being gay, it's more like he is an outsider. But like the officer said in the previous episode, if Peng gets married, he will not be an outsider anymore. So what is Peng going to do? So Lava and Wave at the temple and they're praying and they're holding an incense. But the ashes dropped and waves and immediately Lava went on protection mode. But the thing is, they didn't go alone. Tom and Kretai was there too, and they saw how Lava is so acting protective as a boyfriend, but this is something unexpected for Lava himself, and even he is shocked, got up and left them. Turns out Lava went to get a bag of ice to put on Waves, and now I've dealt with ashes falling on my skin and it didn't do much, so I can guarantee you to tell you that it's not a big deal to be going for ice. But remember, Lava knows Wave identity, so he's treating him as such. And Wave sees the difference in Lava, but he can't pinpoint why. Anyways, he's just being a protective boyfriend. That is it. Okay, back to business or on business. They all know about the problem with Peng and they want to chip in to help. They want to go around, ask for more votes before the actual voting. So, Tom decided that he wants to go to the straight people, to get votes, while Kretai went to the girls just to get some votes. Then, Wave is like, okay, I want to do something too. Tom and Kretai looked at Wave and like, yeah, you have something. Keep focused on Lava because Tom and Kretai already knows that they're in a relationship. So that is their agenda, to make sure they get a good enough vote. I mean, they know that they're not going to get the amount of votes that they're going to get, knowing that everyone knows about Peng and Wood, but they're going to try. Okay, they're asking people and giving them flyers to vote for Peng, but they ran into the same woman that spotted Peng with Wood, and she's expressing how much she's not gonna vote for him because she started calling Peng the F word, and that got Lava very upset, saying that she shouldn't be doing those things and actually voting based on performance, right? So I can tell that she's not voting for Peng, she's voting for the other team. That's cool, but that doesn't mean that she should be calling people names and doing assumptions, which technically, anyways. The whole thing caused a problem, and then Kretai and Wave has to pull both Lava and Tom away because Tom out here protecting his friend. The whole thing caused a problem, making the woman look at other people along with the woman beside, look at other people along with the woman beside him, telling her that not to vote for Peng because Peng is gay. Honestly, that's not your choice to talk about, ma'am. Just, if you don't want to vote, just say that you don't want to vote. But don't tell people not to vote for someone just because you find a problem with someone else. So at night, Lava can't sleep. So he keeps thinking about what people are saying about his uncle, and he decided to take matters into his own hands by taking revenge by going to the other banner because he knows that guy has something to do with it, and he decided to vandalize that person's banner, which is not right. I don't think you should take revenge on this. I think you just should go do matters fair. Wave, on the other hand, followed Lava because he knows Lava is up to no good. Then he saw what he was up to, and Lava was shocked to see Wave was there. Wave then told Lava that not to do this because it's unfair and it's not good to stoop down to other people's level. He said that Lava should just let things go its course and hopefully things go good. Lava doesn't want that, and also he didn't want Wave to be involved in any of this because he cares about Wave too much for anything to happen to him. Lava, you are such a good person, but also have red flags on you sometimes. Okay, so it's the election speech time. You know that speech where where the politician makes stupid promises to the people so they can vote for them. Honestly, it works because in real life you make stupid promises so the people be worked up and feel hyped to even vote for them. Okay, so while the opponent is making his speech, Lava noticed his uncle looked super nervous and went and asked Peng about his nervousness. Peng did said yes, he is nervous, but he also doubted his skills on the speech because he knows that everyone knows about his in being gay, and he's afraid that people won't vote for him or even listen to him. That and the pressure of him wanting to win just so he can have his boyfriend and marry him. So there's a lot of pressure on Peng that makes him nervous. Peng excused himself to go to the bathroom because he's nervous. Now, I assumed Peng went to shit because when people are nervous, they either shit, smoke, or drink. And since Peng he's not going to drink or smoke, I'm assuming he's going to shit. Anyways, Lava and Wave sees this whole problem, and Wave decided to come up with an idea to make the whole situation better for Peng. While Lava and Wave went to do their plan, it is now Peng's turn to do his speech. Peng was nervous as hell. He looked at his boyfriend, started smiling, but the thing is, his speech was going great until it didn't. He got super nervous. He started talking short, and then he ended it. Literally ended his speech on nothing. He just introduced himself, then talked a little bit, and it has nothing to do with the politics, and then just ended. Then here comes Lava with everyone, well, some people, because he knows his uncle wasn't going to say shit. So he came up with, his Wave came up with the idea. And they found some people who knows Peng very well to speak their mind on what Peng did to their life. I don't know how Wave and Lava came up with finding these people in such a short time, but they did. They started talking about how Peng changed their lives, including the pregnant woman. The pregnant woman said that there wasn't any job for her while she was pregnant, so Peng looked at her and gave her a job, regardless of how heavily pregnant she is. Because let's be honest, we need some money. And no one's going to look at a pregnant woman and give her a job because they don't want her to go under pressure. They don't want anything to do with if she loses the baby. But Peng did give her a job, something easy that she doesn't have to pressure herself. And she thanks Peng for all that. Then we reached to Tooms talking. And I was shocked when Tooms started talking because I feel like I know Tooms had a problem, but I didn't know if I missed it. I feel like I missed it, and if he said it, I missed it. Tom says Peng is the reason he is here today, and he never gave up on him. Tom said that he was a drug addict. Now, when he said that, I'm like, did I miss that information or something in the previous episodes? I know he was a troubled person, but addiction was not what I assumed. But anyways, he said he is 100% sober thanks to Peng, and he would never have made it this far without Peng. Then is Wave's turn. Wave said that Peng helped him, a total stranger that he doesn't know, brought him to his own home, trusted him to be there, and he helped him. Even when Wave doesn't even know about himself, he literally helped a stranger. Peng changed his life. Peng saved him from something that he doesn't know. He lost his memory. He doesn't know anything about himself, but he took him in. Peng literally did a lot of things that the other politician would never done. All he does is just waited for votes because remember, the other opponent's family has been into politics for years, but I don't see them doing anything. Not like Peng. And yet people are out there talking about he's the F word. Like, dude, can't you see Peng did more than what the other opponent didn't do? Can't you see? I mean, even Peng is an outsider, but he's done so much than a local politician guy that lives on the island for years. Make it make sense. Clock it, please. Clock it. After that speech, Lava started smoking, and Wave sees him smoking, and Wave said he doesn't like when Lava smokes because it's not good for him and he doesn't like the smell. Lava said he knows that he doesn't like the smoke, but he doesn't smoke around him, but also said that he will quit for for Wave. Wave said he doesn't want Lava to quit for him, but also he wants Lava to quit for Lava for himself, not because someone tells him to. I love how they both love and care for each other, and that's something nobody can take away from them. When I saw this, I was like, is it Sankran for them? Did they film this on Sankran Day? Because it's giving Sankran. Now, because Lava and his protective mode self brought Wave back home, Wave and Lava started washing off the powder on their face. I don't know what they used to make that white thing, but Wave started spraying Lava with water, saying that it's his fault for making him go home early. While they're doing that, they didn't notice that someone was coming, and he got a little wet. Turns out this is Lava's friend from Bangkok who said he wanted to come visit Lava as a surprise. After coming down, Wave apologized to the friend for getting him wet. Lava introduced the friend to Wave, but Lava introduced Wave to his friend as just a friend. He didn't introduce Wave as a boyfriend, which is very upsetting to me and also to Wave, because how are you making everybody else know that he's your boyfriend, but not make your friend know about it? Like, dude, you're no different from your uncle. Anyway, since his friend is here, he decided that he wants to go out with his friend to a party. Wave said he wants to tag along, but Lava's like, no, you shouldn't be coming out here or whatever. You should be staying home. Like, dude, that's not your decision to make. The boy wants to go to party, let the boy go. Wave managed to convince Lava to go to the party. You can't tell no to the boy. He is stubborn just like you. When I saw this, I was like, oh, this is a party for tourists, because these are the type of activities you would see they doing to attract tourists. They do it regular for locals, but it's mostly for tourists, in my opinion. Lava is trying every tactics to make it obvious that Wave is royal. Like, take for the crown, for example. The boy is in royal genes, he's a royal blood, but the boy doesn't know. And even though Lava can't tell him, it doesn't mean that he's not gonna hint it here and there. The friend saw how close Lava and Wave is and confronted them about it, and Lava tells his friend that Wave is his boyfriend. Yeah, you should have told that. You should have told that a long time ago. I'm still concerned though. Short time you're here and you already have a boyfriend. What happens when you have to go home? Do we still have contact with each other? What's gonna happen? I know I'm talking ahead of time, but still, we gotta think the reality here. Anyways, the friend doesn't seem to mind it, but the friend is a problem of its own. The friend is a problem of its own. The friend started taking out a pill, which is obviously a DRUG type of pill, and Wave sees this and says he's not approve of this, and it caused a big argument. And of course, Lava is protecting his man, but he's also protecting the prince. The friend is very upset that Lava chose Wave over him, because the friend has been his friend far more from knowing Wave himself. The friend got upset and left. Like, dude, I get it. You've been friends with this guy for years, but your friendship starts off with DRUG, dude. Just, no, that's the type of friend we don't want. After calming down, Wave apologized to Lava about causing a big problem with Lava and his friend. Lava said it's not Wave's fault and that he lived a very bad life, that he wants to change and he doesn't want to anymore. Lava said ever since he came to the island, he has noticed the pattern of how he was and how much he has changed and how much he caused his own mother, and he doesn't want that for himself. He wants to be a different person. He wants to make his mother proud. He wants to make his father proud, but he also doesn't want to cause problems. And ever since he's been to this island, that is what he's doing, causing less problems. I'm pretty sure that when he goes back home, he's going to be a changed man. So thank you to his mother to send him into the island, because it definitely changed him. Also, if Lava never have come to the island, it wouldn't have met Wave. It wouldn't have fallen in love with Wave, and wouldn't have started a relationship with Wave. So yeah, thank you to the mother for making this happen. So anyways, it's the next day, and the friend, obviously, is not staying long. He just came to surprise him for a day. But anyways, before he left, the friend apologized to Lava and how much he caused and how the drinking, he blamed it on the drinking, which technically it is true. Lava said he's not mad at him, but also he's not mad at him. Anyways, the friend started asking why is he so protective of Lava and how did the relationship started. Lava said, and I quote, "This man literally told his friend that Wave is a prince." Like, the friend didn't believe at first, but he's like, no, true, he is a prince. I'm like, dude, how are you telling a total stranger about this whole thing? We don't know if he's working for the enemy, and yet you trust that big piece of information with this guy. Finally, it's the Muay Thai event, because I was like, dude, when are we going to see the boxing? Every episode you hinting there is, but we don't see it. So here it is, and Lava obviously won. The uncle was there too. The uncle was there. Peng was there. Peng, the uncle. Toom was there. Kletai was there, and even Wave was there to cheer him on. Wave is kind of worried because he was getting hits. But he won, so yeah. Apparently, Peng didn't know about the boxing event. It was through Tom that he knew, and he went to support. Either way, you did support, so thank you, Peng. He also mentioned if he needed money, if Lava needed money, why didn't he ask? Lava told Peng that he didn't want to ask for him money. He wants to earn it himself, and he did. I'm not sure how. Moving on. Anyway, they started talking, and then they started talking about Wave and his identity of him being a prince, and how they don't want to tell Wave about his identity. But while they're talking about Wave and the whole him being a prince of this place, they didn't notice that Wave was there listening. When I was watching it, I was like, dude, what if Wave walked up and listened to you people? Immediately as I said that, Wave went and listened. I'm like, dude. Wave confronted them, which shocked them both that they lied to him about knowing his identity. Since Wave kind of showed that he doesn't believe them, they had to come up with a big evidence to make him believe them. Considering they got caught, might as well. They ended up video calling T. T had to confirm to Wave that Wave is not... Well, his real name is not Wave. His name is Prince Darwin, which is a long name, and I'm not going to say his name, but his name is Darwin. He also told Lava and Peng not to tell the truth to Wave, but since he found out, he apologizes to Wave. But for the sake of this whole conversation, we're just going to call him Darwin. So anyways, T told T told Darwin that he apologized for lying to him, but also revealed that his name is not T, his name is Paulo. And Paulo said he apologized to Darwin that he lied, but he also revealed about his family and that they're in a bit of a crisis because they are gonna be in a problem. If they find out that Darwin is alive, people will come and execute him, which he doesn't want. He wants to find a way to keep him alive, but also his family alive, to get rid of the people that wants to get rid of Darwin. And in order for doing that, Darwin has to stay low. Darwin is very upset and walked off because his whole life has been written for him and no one told him about his life, including his boyfriend. While I was watching this, I was like, dude, how sure are you of your safety? How are you not sure that the enemy is actually close and like monitoring you? And did you destroy this computer before or after this conversation? We don't know if someone's tracking your ass and you're out here talking to the prince. Well, at least you gave Peng and Lava communication so they can communicate with you, but still, damn. At first, Wave thought it was a joke that Lava has created, but Lava and Peng told them it wasn't a joke, it's serious. And when I was watching this, I'm like, Wave, do you really think that Peng would be involved in a stupid joke if it was? Wave got upset and walked off, and Lava went to talk to him. Wave looked at Lava and said he's upset that everyone knows about him, Lava, and Peng knows about his identity and never told him. He also is upset that right now he feels everything he's been through is all a lie. He looked at Lava and said that how long has he known about this? Lava looked at him and said 2 weeks. I'm like, damn, it's been 2 weeks already since homeboy left? Since Paulo left? Anyways, Wave said all this time this lie has been there and Lava didn't tell him. He also started questioning and figuring out why Lava is being so protective of him all of a sudden. And now he thinks that the relationship itself is all a lie, which I don't blame him. I kind of understand where Wave is coming from. Even though he heard about his whole name and his life, Wave looked at Lava and said he doesn't care about his life that he had. All he knows that his name is Wave. Even though his name isn't Wave, he doesn't care. He's keeping the name Wave. Nava Mahasamut. Then he looked at Lava and asked Lava, did he make up those names or was it that Paulo was the one that told him to make that name? Lava said he made a name for him. Wave said he's upset that Lava made him fall in love with him, and right now he feels like this love was also a lie and he doesn't even know if Lava loves him. Lava said he does love him and care for him, but at this point Wave doesn't even believe any of what Lava is saying right now. Wave started walking off crying, and while he's walking, Lava keeps calling him Your Highness and not Wave. And I think that part shattered Wave more, knowing that Lava is not going to look at him the same way like he used to, which is not what Wave wants. And that's the part that I am also sad about as well. I do feel it for Lava because Lava really do love Wave or Prince Darwin. But they're in two different worlds, from two different worlds. And eventually we got to accept that after this whole problem is over, they are going to come for Wave or Prince Darwin. And what happens after that? What happens when he gets his memory back? What happens after that? No, seriously, will he come back to the Lava? I know Lava is going to go back to Bangkok. Will he go to Bangkok? Remember, the first attempt of leaving the palace, Darwin wants to go to Bangkok. So maybe he will go to Bangkok eventually. Also, I want to see the wedding of Peng and Wood because it must happen. It will happen. I need to see it.